think it's realistic to think that you could win the starting job as a freshman?
I think so. I think that's why everybody goes in as a young freshman.
When the 2024 NFL Draft rolled around, everybody could feel the hype around Bo Nix. But the real question that had fans arguing nonstop was simple. Why wasn't he the #1 pick?
Growing up with Dad and being around my grandfather who coached for his whole life, and Dad growing up a coach's kid, I've learned a whole lot about the game, and so I think I'm a smarter player. It's basically 4 verticals, but we get there in a different way.
Being immersed in the game at a young age shows in Bo's football IQ and leadership.
This dude came into the draft as one of the most experienced quarterbacks in college football history, with more starts than almost anyone to touch the sport, and numbers that look straight out of a video game. He had accuracy, leadership, mobility, poise, and a maturity level that made analysts say he was NFL ready before he even declared.
It all starts with quarterback Bo Nix.
Yeah, I don't know what else you can say about the young man. Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Alabama, one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the AHSAA. In fact, Chris, he's the first quarterback, the first player ever to go over 12,000 total yards of offense. He's got nearly 3,500 yards passing this year and 48 touchdowns. He's committed to Auburn University, so he'll be playing his college football right here on this field, but he's got one more high school game tonight, and he wants to go out.
But when draft night hit, teams started acting like they didn't see the same Bo Nix everybody else watched dominate at Oregon. And here's where the story gets wild. Insiders say several front offices were split because Bo Nix didn't fit the flashy modern QB prototype that scouts fall in love with. Instead of drooling over his insane consistency and elite decision-making, they chased quarterbacks who projected higher ceilings, even if that ceiling came with major risk. Some execs wanted big arms, some wanted freak athletes, some wanted highlight machines.
It's what a quarterback draft this is not.
Many in the media had even assumed that Denver could trade back out of the 12th overall spot and still get him, since again, he was considered the least exciting first-round quarterback of the bunch.
And they were thinking, well, maybe they trade down and get him later, trade back into round 1. They didn't want to play games there. Let's take him. Let's not screw around. Let's not lose him because we got cute. Let's just call the ball. Let's submit the pick and let's get it done.
Like, this is getting crazy because, in fact, some people even considered it was a sign of outright panic for Denver after the disastrous Russell Wilson trade.
This is also as simple as they were desperate. I mean, like we just talked about before they made the pick. What were they going to do?
But Bo was the guy who played clean, smart, controlled football. And apparently, that scared teams more than it impressed them. Behind the scenes, some scouts even claimed Bo Nix was too polished, meaning they thought he already hit his peak. Which is crazy because he was still leveling up every season. But draft politics are wild like that. And when you add the ugly truth that teams sometimes get caught up in trends instead of results, it becomes clear how a dude with superstar potential slid right past the #1 spot. Meanwhile, Oregon coaches were openly shocked, saying multiple NFL staffs overthought the entire process. Bo didn't slide because of talent. He slid because of perception, because teams got scared of picking a quarterback who wasn't built on hype, but on steady production. And now, after just one NFL season, fans everywhere are starting to ask the question the league should have asked from the jump. Did everybody sleep on Bo Nix?
But when I watched the film, that was the difference between him and the guys in front of him. I felt like the guys in front of him rarely didn't take those opportunities. Now, they might not have hit all of them, but the vision part of it, the ability to be like, let it rip sometimes, that I think you have to have, for whatever reason. Bo was great at protecting the ball when he was at Oregon. And, that's certainly an element of playing in the league, but I'm not sure it's going to allow him to flourish potentially like some of those other guys because of how they let it rip and have the arm talent to kind of drive the ball up.
But here's where things get even more scandalous. Multiple NFL teams straight up misread Nix's game because of their own outdated scouting models. Some franchises rely so heavily on arm strength grades, RAS scores, and physical ceilings that they completely ignore the part that actually matters, winning football games. Bo Nix had the highest completion percentage in the entire country, one of the lowest turnover rates, and the best efficiency numbers of any QB in the draft class. And yet some scouts labeled him system dependent, as if any QB wouldn't thrive with elite coaching. That narrative stuck so hard that teams started convincing themselves Bo was only good because Oregon made him comfortable. Meanwhile, nobody asked why the other top quarterbacks didn't put up numbers even close to Bo's in their systems.
course, when the game's on the line, you know, you got to make plays, and that's the one thing that he showed, you know, and in all fairness, you know, it was his first start. He went against one of the better teams in the country in this kind of environment. You know, he did some really good things, but when the game was on the line, he found a way to win the game, and I think that was real special for his first start.
And here's the kicker. Bo Nix actually ran one of the most complex offensive structures in college football with full field reads, tempo variations, and heavy pre-snap responsibility. That's the exact opposite of system dependency. But because Oregon's offense looked smooth, lazy scouts decided it must have been easy. A couple teams even leaked reports that Bo's arm wasn't strong enough, which got debunked the second he arrived at minicamp and started uncorking bombs in practice. Sometimes the league just locks into a narrative and refuses to adjust no matter how much evidence is screaming in their face. And now that Bo is running with Denver, where insiders say Sean Payton is designing the offense specifically to maximize his strengths, coaches around the league are starting to whisper that they might have been wrong about him. Imagine sliding in the draft because your film was too clean. That's exactly how Bo Nix ended up not being the #1 pick, all while being more prepared than half the quarterbacks taken before him.
I do.
Is it even a positive in your mind?
I mean, in a lot of ways it is. It's like, okay, he's mature. You know, I was dumber at 21 than I was at 24. I mean, I did dumb shit off the field. I probably wasn't as focused, right, as the way I needed to be. I was a different guy. 24, 25, right? I don't care about doing that anymore on a Friday night. I just I'm going to sit home and watch film, or, you know, I'm going to go throw at the field and then just take it easy at home then. Like, you change.
He's a married man. He
plays a mature style of football. And, like, I'm also sick of that. Like, well, he's already maximized. Like, well, what the hell are you talking about? I saw Tom Brady be barely above average in 2011, 12, and 13, right? And he like tweaked his game, and all of a sudden it was like, holy shit, at the end of 2014, who the fuck is this guy? He's throwing lasers again.
Now, the latest reports coming out of Denver are making Bo Nix's draft slide look even more insane, because teammates are already calling him one of the most NFL-ready rookies they've ever seen. Veterans said the dude walked into the facility like he'd been in the league for 5 years, calling audibles, correcting protections, checking blitzes, and running the offense with full command. Coaches said Bo's football IQ is off the charts. He breaks down film like a coordinator, not a rookie. And here's the part that's making fans go crazy. Multiple defensive players said Bo is already torching them in practice with timing routes and deep strikes that rookies normally can't hit. One insider even said, he sees the field like he's cheating. That's how locked in he is. And the league is noticing too. Several teams who passed on him reportedly regretted it after seeing Denver's preseason tape, especially the franchise that held the #1 pick. They gambled on upside, and Bo is showing the world what polished and prepared looks like when it translates to the NFL. Some analysts are even admitting they misjudged him, saying his draft ranking didn't match his on-field talent at all.
We felt
It's wild how the league let a quarterback with elite accuracy, elite processing, and elite poise slide because he didn't fit the prototype. And the story gets even crazier when you realize Bo didn't complain once, didn't lash out, didn't try to prove a point. He just let his game talk. And now, the same scouts who doubted him are scrambling to explain why they didn't see his breakout coming. The hype is real, and Bo is turning his draft night disrespect into pure fuel on the field. Today, the conversation around Bo Nix has completely flipped, and the NFL looks like it made a major mistake by not drafting him at #1. With Denver's offense waking up and Sean Payton trusting him more every week, Bo is suddenly being talked about as one of the smartest young quarterbacks in the league. Fans are already comparing his early growth to players who shocked the world after sliding in the draft, and analysts keep pointing to one thing. Bo has everything teams want in a modern quarterback, but the league was too busy chasing highlight reels to notice. His footwork is elite, his accuracy is surgical, his decision-making is almost flawless, and his leadership is already shifting the energy in Denver's locker room. Even rival players publicly admitted Bo plays way ahead of schedule. And a few legends have even said he reminds them of quarterbacks who became superstars after being overlooked early on.
Bo Nix has announced that he will enter the transfer portal. Nix has been the starting quarterback at Auburn for the last 3 seasons, earned the job as a true freshman, and made 34 consecutive starts before injuring his ankle last season. Nix finishes his Auburn career as the program's 3rd passer all time with more than 7.
The most shocking part? Some executives have privately admitted that if the draft were held again today, Bo Nix would be a top 3 pick, maybe even #1 overall. That's how fast the narrative changed. His rise isn't some fluke. It's the league realizing they overthought the obvious and underestimated the one guy who had the cleanest film, the deepest experience, and the highest football IQ in the class. And Bo is proving it every time he steps onto the field. He went from being labeled safe to being viewed as a legit franchise quarterback. And the teams that passed on him are now feeling the heat as Denver's offense starts to click in ways nobody predicted. Make sure to like and subscribe for more. The wildest part of this whole Bo Nix story is how fast the league is waking up and realizing they might have let the next superstar slip right through their fingers. Every week that goes by, more insiders leak the same message. Bo wasn't just underrated, he was misjudged from the jump. And now the receipts are piling up. Film analysts are breaking down his tape like it's treasure they didn't know they had, pointing out how his footwork is already cleaner than guys drafted above him, how his timing with receivers is hitting elite-level precision, and how his ability to read disguises is years ahead of what NFL coordinators expected. That's the kind of skill set teams pray for in a franchise QB. Yet Bo slid because some scouts wanted flash instead of solid fundamentals. But fundamentals win games, and the Broncos are starting to move like a team that knows exactly what kind of gem they stumbled into. Even crazier, insiders now claim Sean Payton had Bo circled on his board months before the draft, but kept it quiet to avoid a bidding war. Payton saw the accuracy, the patience, the calmness under pressure, and reportedly told someone close to the team, "If Bo falls to me, I'm not passing." The rest of the league slept. Payton didn't. And the proof is showing every time Bo steps into practice and embarrasses defenders with those tight window lasers and no hesitation reads. Some Broncos DBs even admitted they underestimated him early on, thinking they could bait a rookie into mistakes, and instead got carved up by a dude who sees the field like chess while everyone else is playing checkers. And remember the noise about his average arm? Yeah, that rumor got killed instantly the moment new footage leaked from a Broncos closed practice showing Bo launching a 65-yard bomb in stride that had the entire sideline going wild. Coaches were literally yelling, players were losing their minds. That throw alone made half the league look silly for acting like Bo couldn't push the ball downfield. It's like every knock against him is getting proven wrong at lightning speed, leaving his doubters scrambling to rewrite their scouting notes before they get called out. Now the league is buzzing with whispers that Bo might end up being the biggest steal of the entire 2024 draft, not just because he was overlooked, but because he's already showing traits that usually take rookies years to develop. He's poised, he's dangerous, he's calculated, and he's playing with that "you should have drafted me earlier" chip on his shoulder that turns good QBs into killers. Every great quarterback has a moment where the world realizes, damn, we missed it. And Bo Nix is on the verge of hitting that moment right now, with Denver riding his rise and the rest of the NFL praying they don't have to face him once he fully settles into his groove. This story ain't slowing down. It's about to explode even harder. Bo Nix's draft night disrespect has lit a fire under him that the NFL was not ready for. And insiders say the energy around Denver's locker room has completely shifted because of it. Veterans are walking around telling reporters that Bo is different. Rookies are gravitating toward him like he's already the face of the team, and coaches are whispering that he's absorbing the playbook faster than any quarterback they've had in years. That's not normal rookie behavior. That's franchise quarterback DNA showing itself before the world even knows what's coming. And that's exactly what has the league nervous right now. Reports say Bo showed up to training camp with a level of preparation that stunned coaches. He walked in quoting entire sections of the playbook, diagnosing defensive tendencies from memory, and even correcting receiver alignments on the fly. That's veteran behavior, not a dude the league labeled safe or limited. Denver players say he brings a calmness to the huddle that keeps everyone locked in, even when the defense sends blitz packages meant to rattle him. Instead of panicking, Bo steps back, adjusts protections, and fires a dart like he's been doing it for a decade. That's the kind of QB teams dream of drafting #1 overall, and somehow the league let him slide. But this next part is where things really get wild. Several NFL legends have now publicly praised Bo, saying he reminds them of quarterbacks who came into the league underestimated but ended up dominating for years. One retired Pro Bowl QB even said Bo has Drew Brees-type accuracy with a modern twist, which is insane praise for a rookie just getting started. Another legend said Bo's pocket presence is unnatural for a first-year player and predicted he'd become a top 10 quarterback sooner than anyone expects. When legends start comparing you to icons, the draft ranking conversation goes straight out the window. Because the film doesn't lie and the results don't lie either. And here's the kicker. Teams that passed on him are already trying to explain themselves away behind closed doors. Multiple front offices have leaked whispers blaming their scouting departments, saying Bo wasn't properly evaluated or that they over-prioritized measurables instead of leadership and game processing. Translation, they know they messed up bad and are embarrassed watching Denver build their future around a dude they could have taken. Bo Nix didn't fall because he lacked talent. He fell because the league lacks patience for quarterbacks who play with discipline instead of chaos. But that discipline is exactly what wins games in December, in playoffs, in big moments when everything is on the line. Bo is built for those moments, and Denver knows it. That's why the hype around him feels different. Not loud, not forced, but growing naturally off real performances and real growth. Bo Nix is proving he wasn't just the wrong guy to pass on. He might end up being the guy the league regrets ignoring for the next decade. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.